Okay, so gold, right. It's been all over the news. Everyone's talking about it. I bet you've heard about these record high prices. And you're probably wondering if it's too late to, get in on the action.
Right, everyone wants a piece of that gold rush.
Exactly. And I mean, over $2,700 an ounce. Even Costco is selling out. So today, we're diving deep into this gold frenzy. We're going to break down why the price is skyrocketing.
Yeah, what's driving this?
Exactly. And more importantly, should you, the listener, be thinking about investing? Should we be worried or excited?
It's fascinating, isn't it, how these sudden price spikes really get people talking.
For sure. And speaking of spikes, that CBS News article you shared, it said gold jumped like 32% in under a year. That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic.
It mentioned inflation fears being a big factor, plus the whole global economy feeling shaky.
Right, and those geopolitical risks, those are always a factor.
Yeah, like a perfect storm for gold prices, apparently.
Well, historically, gold has been seen as the safe haven. When everything else seems unpredictable.
Right, like when the market takes a dive, everyone runs to gold.
Exactly. It's a way to safeguard your wealth. At least that's the idea.
Makes sense. But what is it about gold specifically? What makes it so different from, say, just holding on to cash?
Well, currencies, those are tied to governments, central banks, all that. Gold is different. It's tangible. You can hold it. And it's always had this intrinsic value.
So it's not just a number on a screen, it's something real.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And its worth isn't determined by some countries' economic ups and downs. Plus, it's a hedge against inflation,
Okay.
meaning even when the cost of, well, everything goes up, gold tends to hold its purchasing power.
Okay, so if I'm getting this right, it's like when people lose faith in the dollar, they turn to gold as a more stable option.
You got it. This gold rush we're seeing, it reflects that underlying anxiety about traditional markets, the whole global system, really.
Interesting. But that CBS article also talked about folks making a killing off this gold rush. So it's not just about playing it safe. There's a chance to actually profit, right?
Wow. Oh, absolutely. But, and this is key, every investment has its risks. What shoots up?
Can come crashing down.
Exactly.
So should we all be rushing out to buy gold right this second?
Well, that's where things get a little more complicated. You can't just jump in blindly. Whether you invest in gold or anything, really, it depends on your personal situation, your financial goals.
So it's not as straightforward as gold is always a good investment.
Not quite. You see, gold, it doesn't act like traditional investments. Stocks, for instance, those can pay dividends, a share of the company's profits. Gold,
It just sits there, shiny and gold.
pretty much, it
Yeah.
doesn't generate income like that. You're counting on its value increasing over time so you can sell high later.
Ah, so you're banking on that future price going up.
And that's where understanding volatility is crucial. Gold can offer stability, especially in uncertain times, but its price, oh, it can swing up and down.
So not exactly a guaranteed path to riches.
Not at all. You have to be aware of the downsides, the potential for loss. Now, this reminds me of something you often hear about, portfolio diversification.
Diversification,
Yeah.
right. So what does that really mean, like
Yeah.
practically? If someone's thinking about gold, what other things should they be looking at?
That's where, a financial advisor can be a huge help because it's all about, well, crafting a strategy that fits you. But generally, you've got your stocks,
Right, those are always in the mix.
bonds, real estate, index funds. Those are popular. Each has its own, risk level, potential reward.
So stocks, those are more for growth, right?
Mhm.
But they can be a bit of a roller coaster. Bonds are safer, but maybe not as exciting. And real estate, well, that's a whole other beast.
Yeah.
Tangible, but can be hard to sell quickly if you need to.
Exactly. You've got it. That's the beauty of diversification. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket, even if it's a golden basket, right?
Love that. So even if one area takes a hit, others might be doing okay, and that kind of softens the blow.
Precisely. It's about managing risk. Now, you mentioned gold as a hedge against inflation earlier.
Right, because when everything else gets more expensive.
The idea is that gold holds its value better, but it's not the only game in town. Real estate, often, as prices rise, so does real estate value.
Makes sense. Things become more expensive, and that includes places to live, right?
Right, and some commodities too, like oil, gas, those can move in the opposite direction of the dollar.
So it's not just about things going up in value.
It's about maintaining your buying power, protecting what you have. And that's where thinking about your time horizon matters. Long term. You've got time to ride out those market swings.
Like if you're investing for retirement, decades away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But need the money sooner, well, then you might need a different approach.
Okay, that's really helpful. So we've talked about gold as this safe haven, diversification. knowing your own risk comfort level and how long you're investing for. But what about this gold versus silver thing? The article mentions silver as like an alternative. What do you think?
Silver's interesting. It often moves similarly to gold, but
It's even a
more volatile, so bigger swings up and down.
higher risk, higher reward kind of thing.
That's the idea. Plus, silver's price is also affected by industrial demand.
So it's not just investors buying it up. It's used in, what, electronics and stuff, right?
Exactly, which adds another layer of complexity to how its price behaves.
So it sounds like gold might be a better fit if you're looking for that stability, that safe haven.
It could be. For some.
Whereas silver might be more for those who are, I don't know, a little more adventurous, with the ups and downs being a bit more extreme.
That's a good way of putting it. But at the end of the day, the best investment, it all comes down to you, your own situation, what you're aiming for.
Wow, this has been like eye-opening. We've covered so much ground here, from why gold prices are going crazy to like different ways to think about investing, even considering silver. So big picture, if someone's listening thinking, should I invest in gold? What are the key things to remember?
It all boils down to this. There's no magic formula. Gold, it can be a smart addition to your portfolio, especially when things are uncertain. But it's not a guaranteed win, and it's definitely not for everyone.
Right, it's more about figuring out if gold fits into your financial goals, your risk tolerance.
Exactly. Before you do anything, do your homework. Talk to a financial advisor, someone who gets your situation, your goals, and really think about what you're hoping to achieve with your money.
This deep dive, it's given us a lot to chew on, exploring, the history of gold, why it's surging now, how investors can approach it. It's been fascinating. And, hey, knowledge is power, right? Now you've got the info you need to navigate this whole investing world. Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.